J&V Restaurant Supply Team with Captain Darian White. Cola Bad Bear with rebounds.
Miami.
Madison Jackson assists. And your shooter from downtown, Leah Beatty. J&V Restaurant Supply. Savor the difference.
Homecoming victory, 5 turnovers is probably the key of the game right here. Is that correct?
Oh, I think so. They come out and drive the field, and we have busted coverage, and they score. And that's one thing we talked about them, grabbing that momentum right away and how challenging that was. But I thought we had a great drive to answer that, and then I think James got the pick the next time, and we kept taking the ball away, kept finding a way to get it. We got the one before the half. Anytime you've plus 5 like that, it's gonna be hard for the other team to get much done. And credit to our defense for making those plays. When that opportunity presents itself, whether it's recovering a fumble or ball in the air to pick it, you got to make a play, and we did that today. Good
balance running pass today as well.
Yeah, I thought in the first half, in particular. That's really how you got to look at this game a little bit. The second half's a little bit different mode for us, but I thought, we mixed it up well. I think we were 16-19 at halftime, if that was correct. That's terribly efficient on the throw game, and then we were running the ball with our running backs very effectively. So we can have that going and not stress the quarterback run game as much as we maybe have. That's a good thing for the Bobcats.
A lot of guys got some valuable snaps today too, deep in the roster.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the season here. Ultimately we'll play 8 straight games before the bye, and that was the hope today that we could continue to grow our depth. And that step that a lot of our guys ultimately have to take is getting some game action. And they got some early in the season, hadn't really gotten any sense. So to get a whole bunch of guys there and be intentional about it, we're going to ultimately lean on more than those 22 guys that start the game, and I think we've made some real progress in that regard today.
How would you describe the offensive execution in the first half? What was working well? You scored on all 6 possessions.
Yeah, I think it was a really good mix of tempo, obviously knocking them back, and I thought Elijah and Lane really ran well. It was great to have Lane back out there. And I thought we threw the ball really effectively. And we made some third downs that you have to. You have to be able to execute protection and quarterback and reads and all those things. And I thought that Sean did a real good job of that. In particular, as you look at that 2-minute type of drive, that drive that we scored on, the touchdown preceding and then fumbling and scoring another field goal. But no, I thought to say we were clicking on all cylinders. Wasn't perfect necessarily, but a lot of things were going well for us.
In just a few minutes, small business owners can now sign up for Blackfoot Communication Services. Whether it's dependable voice options or internet services, sign up simply by visiting blackfootsmallbusiness.com. Click on the services you wish, select an installation time and date, and you're done. Small business services at the touch of your fingers. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications and blackfootsmallbusiness.com.
Just having Lane back, just having another body back, period, but also having it be Lane Sumner, how much does that help you?
Well, I think, they're different, and when you have a couple of different backs back there and where you're running a zone game that's a lot about tempo and it's a lot about vision, I think that makes it challenging for the defense to be able to see different styles, and then having Lane back, and I thought he ran really, really hard. I thought he saw things well, and really pleased that. One thing I want to make sure I address, I want to wish Coach Rangel the best. Obviously, Coach Rangel wasn't here today, and that's a serious deal, for a coach to not be in a game. So I know he's had maybe some challenges before health-wise, and I definitely want to wish him the best.
You have a name for that formation with Slaughter and Omar in the backfield?
We call that Delta. It's kind of a triangle formation back there.
I guess just how you had Slaughter back in the backfield too, I know. So how excited are you guys, or kind of how much are you trying to utilize those?
Yeah, I think when you get some bigger bodies back there, it's him and Omar when we go to that 3-back, kind of what the quarterback said. Just trying to utilize whoever we can on the team, and obviously in Devin's case he's a defensive player, but trying to find a role for him. And he's taken it and ran with it, and appreciative of how much he's enjoyed that opportunity. And then I think his blocks were pretty effective today too.
You mentioned depth earlier. Dave Golson is another guy on the defensive line. What do you think of his play, especially on that strip sack?
Yeah, David's got a lot of ability, and that balance of our defensive ends and how the reps work between Brody and Ben and David and Kenny, trying to stretch that out a little bit more and more. So to see David make some plays today was great, and obviously the strip sack, that's a DN's dream. So big play for him.
You spoke of the importance of 5 turnovers, but you turned 4 of those into points afterward. What does that say about your offense being opportunistic in the same way?
Yeah, I think we have to be. I think to play the way we want to, we have to be complementary. So it's field position based. It's certainly the turnover margin, and when we get those takeaways, we got to do something with them. A takeaway without a score to follow it up isn't obviously as meaningful. The field position that we got on a couple of them, I know the offense better score in those situations, quite frankly. So no, I think that's the way we want to play. We want our special teams to feed it all, our offense to feed our defense to feed our offense. And I thought that first half really demonstrated that today.
How surprised were you by Callahan's interception, given that there was a lot of traffic around that?
Yeah, Callahan's a good athlete. I mean, he's capable of making a challenging catch and to turn that around and run for the yards he did. That was good to see.
How would you describe the second half? Because you mentioned kind of in a different mode. What was kind of the strategy behind it?
Well, I think we were up 34-6. Certainly wanted to go up and score. We had a couple third downs, a ball that went off Derek's hands, a close bang play on a pass to Willie that were ultimately the third downs we didn't convert on. We moved the ball a little bit, but we wanted to, I guess keep Sean out of harm's way as much as we could. I think that was probably the biggest priority, and not throw the ball all over the field necessarily, and keep playing defense. I think in those type of games when you have a 4 touchdown lead like we had, you're fighting the clock as much as anything, and that's a credit to our defense to they gave up that quick score, but then to give up a single point after that. So that was great to see. But yeah, the mode was just a little bit different relative to probably the quarterback run game.
Did the defense look a little bit more dialed in after that first
Well,
half?
I think I don't know. I mean, they got a couple plays, and they got good players. They do, and it was a busted coverage that led to the 36-yard touchdown, and that didn't happen to us again. So I thought we were dialed in by and large from the start, but they made a few plays, and then we busted coverage. I mean, those are the type of plays you can't have, whether it's busted coverage, a missed tackle. And we've had some of those, and I thought, it had happened, we squashed it, and we didn't really allow that to happen the rest of the game, so credit to those guys.
Go ahead, Tom.
How encouraging is it for you to have a game where, you guys didn't have any big plays, 78-yard runs or
Yeah.
whatever? Is that...
We had one, he went 36, that's all he could go on that pass. No, I think, we credit ourselves in being in the right place and being able to tackle the football. At times they're going to complete some balls in front of us. We got to tackle it. I thought we did that a lot better. Being opportunistic with those takeaway opportunities, it was awesome. I think those guys. We haven't made some of those plays early in the season, and we got that done today.
And then to follow up on that, the offense also, I think maybe, it seemed like 23, 25-yard was the longest play for you guys, and you were able to dominate the game without having big plays.
Yeah, I think it forces you into being somewhat methodical and being having to execute on third downs. We ended up 7 of 14, but I think at halftime I looked at our number, we were 5 of 8, and we converted 2 fourth downs. So the only third down we didn't convert on, we ended up kicking a field goal. So that's. You want to be able to handle whatever situations you're put in, and if it's got to be a little bit of a grinded out deal, get yourself in third down, third makeable, you got to be able to make it, and we did that by and large. To convert on fourth down a couple times, the first down was big. So I think we grew situationally today, and to have that kind of somewhat methodical 2-minute, I don't know when we got the ball, but to take the clock all the way down, ultimately, we ended up getting it back. But that was really impressive, that drive before the half, too. It required a lot of different plays to be made. I think, you walk away at halftime, you feel really good. You walk away at the end, you got to look at the whole. And I think for us to keep them at 6. Disappointed we didn't score more in the second half, but I know we were still able to move the ball, and you know, it's always good to go back to the drawing board.
At the midpoint of the year here, what's your evaluation of the run game? You must be pretty pleased, averaging 300 yards a game despite all the injuries and you know, new offensive linemen and things like that.
Yeah, I think you know, the run game has to drive us on offense, and then stopping the run has to drive us on defense, and that's where it starts. And we've been able to run it effectively in a lot of different ways. I think today how we ran it would look a lot different than some previous games. You know, you end up with 52 rushes. You know, that's grinding it out, and that's the majority of those rushes, I think, were by running backs. So you think about where we were a month ago, that's encouraging. And you know, I think we can do it a bunch of different ways, so that allows us to take advantage of what the defense ultimately is doing to us. You know, and as we go into each new week, you know, it's its own week. So I think we've become more versatile. I think that's probably the biggest thing. We threw the ball better the last couple weeks. So a lot of positives, and we got to keep growing.
Last one.
Just you have obviously a big quarterback, and then you've had Derek Snell getting some carries. And how good do you feel, just especially with how well your offensive line has been, about the ability to be big and physical?
A couple of them are in here. I don't want to pump them up too much. No, I've been really pleased with them. I know we all have. I think it's an athletic group. It's a hungry group. It's a group that I don't think has necessarily reached its ceiling by any means, but we're mid-season, and I think they've more than proved themselves that they're a very good offensive line. We got to keep reaching for higher.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Jeff, what was it like to get that interception?
Finally, huh? I mean, I caught it. I mean, I didn't know my knee was down, but I caught one, so I'll take it. Yeah, felt good.
Yeah, and after, I guess, so many close calls, you know, with this, I guess, how did it feel to finally, you know, get that turnover?
It felt good. Like you said, I feel like I left some opportunities out there these past couple games, so obviously it just felt great to finally get one, and so hopefully they start coming in bunches.
Yeah, I think defense forced 5 or 6 turnovers this game. I guess, how'd you feel like how opportunistic that defense was today?
We knew in a game like this, Idaho State, they have a good team, and they were going to come and give us our best shot, so obviously we knew they were going to put the ball in the air, run the ball, but specifically when they put the ball in the air, we knew that we had to attack it and just come up with those plays.
Jeff, what kind of gratification does the defense get seeing then the offense go out onto the field and turn four of those 5 turnovers into points for your team?
It's great. I mean, we know we have the offense capable to do so. So obviously, like you said, I feel like it's just not a relief, but we just know our offense is going out there doing what they do, and that's a good thing anytime.
Justus, can you just talk about the offensive execution in the first half? I mean, Chambers was basically perfect throwing the ball, but you guys were also blasting holes. What was working well?
I mean, I think Housewright does a great job each week giving us a great game plan, and we executed pretty well. You know, that's a credit to how we practice, you know, keep repping, and just coming out, repping it, seeing the looks, and then luckily I have a great group of guys that if we do see something that we didn't practice or whatever, we can brainstorm and come up with an idea to fix it.
How diverse is it what you guys are doing? Because, I mean, you guys have had a lot of different ball carriers this year. Like Coach just said, finally some running backs actually carrying the ball today. But how have you guys been able to do this, being able to rush for 300 yards a game like you have?
I mean, we have the utmost confidence in whoever's running the ball. You know, they trust us, so that gives us a bunch of motivation to help them break the line of scrimmage and get to the second level. So, I mean, whoever's toting the rock, we're going to make sure that we do our job to get them up and moving.
You mentioned that you guys have done more outside zone than inside zone this year. How does that kind of compare? How do you like it kind of compared to last year?
I mean, I think if we didn't, it'd kind of be like we're super athletic. Excuse me. I mean, so to not use our athleticism, we'd be kind of like shooting ourselves in the foot. So I think it's just with the offensive line we have, we might as well use our attributes. So and then so might as well use outside zone when we need to. But I mean, when we need to, we can still run inside zone. But having outside zone in our back pocket is huge.
Justus, last week when we spoke with Sean Chambers, he said that
that game felt different for him. He felt like he was in complete control. Do you see that confidence growing within him as each game goes on?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think that also comes from practice. You know, I think Coach Housewright, Coach Tommy being in his corner, you know, giving him confidence and making sure we do our job, you know, give him time so he can hit his reads or, you know, make it easy on him when he has to run the ball. So just seeing that confidence grow in him, yeah, it's great. I think he's always had it. It's finally shining for him.
And then Jeff, what was it like to see James get his second pick of the year, 2 for 2 now?
I'm happy for James. I mean, James is somebody who works extremely hard day in and day out, and so for him to come back-to-back weeks with interceptions, I mean, that's just speaking to his work and what he's done, I feel like, over the past couple of weeks.
How'd you feel like the defense responded after that first touchdown?
We weren't even flustered. We knew what we did. That was a bust in coverage. It wasn't like they did anything special against us. So we obviously, we were mad about it. We wanted a donut, but we just came back and did what we had to do the next couple drives and just really honed in to our preparation.
Justus, when you see the time of possession discrepancy there, 40 minutes to 20 minutes essentially, what does that tell you about, you mentioned having a strong game plan going into the week. What does that tell you about how everything that you wanted to do going into the game probably worked out?
Yeah, time of possession is huge, especially like Coach Vigen was talking about, having the ball in the second half, being up 4 scores. You know, you have to run the ball. That's something we pride ourselves on. And when our number is called, we want to deliver. We want to make sure that we have the ball as long as possible. You know, a couple of those we wish we did a little bit better so we could get points up instead of field goals, but points are points at the end of the day, so we'll take it.
Especially after turnovers, right? You want to make sure that you take advantage of the opportunities that the defense gave you.
Yeah, Coach Army says, you know, reward the defense, and that's our mindset. We're going to come out, we're going to play aggressive, and, you know, it's definitely disappointing when we don't do it, but with a kicker like Blake, we know we're still going to get some points at the end of the day.
You guys get a little extra excited when that Delta formation comes out?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that was we ran it like the right way. We got the right look, that's what I'm trying to say. So it was definitely sick to see it, something that you run in practice, come out to fruition, and especially like that. Sean did a great job of following Devin and Omar, and I think we executed pretty well up front, so it was sweet to see.
What was it like being out there with Sean Austin today? He was 8 for 8 with completions. Did he seem comfortable?
Yeah, you know, especially with a young quarterback like that, like I said again, it kind of puts it on our back where we have to make sure he's comfortable in every way, shape, or form. So, you know, we take extra pride in that, making sure he has enough time in the pocket, and we give him the right reads he needs.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you guys.